What's going on, everybody? It's your boy M.I.C back in the building with another YouTube video. Today we're going to be talking about my experience with the Tekken 8 closed beta test, or more affectionately known as the CBT. In this review, I plan to discuss both the pros and cons of the heat system, the grab system mechanics, the overall gameplay, my experience with the fight lounge, and of course simple controls. And believe, to sum it all up, I'm definitely going to give my suggestions as to what I think is going to make Tekken 8 or would make Tekken 8 a better overall product for anyone trying to jump in and play. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about the gameplay. When it comes to the gameplay, I think one of the pros that they were really able to pull off as a developer was that they were able to achieve the goal of aggressive gameplay. As I got a chance to play, making different changes like decreasing the backdash, giving armor moves a little bit more priority, and in fact giving you a little bit more incentive to use the armor moves because they can become safe if they are unsafe. If you happen to attack into an opponent that is doing a move, but you don't successfully land the armor move, a lot of the times it'll have so much pushback, or there'll be so much frame delay in their ability to punish you that you'll end up being safe. In cases like I use King, so I would do up forward 3+4, and a lot of the times if I was able to jump through someone's move but they were able to recover in time, what would normally be -12, they were no longer able to punish me, and they would either be having too much pushback or I would recover too fast for them to be able to punish me. So I thought that was a very interesting way of trying to control the tempo and the speed by making it more advantageous to continue to swing. Another one of the pros that I saw was that it seems like poking and standing combat damage are just as, if not more important than combo damage due to the health regen system. So you know on this game to have health that you can recover. Typically you only gain recoverable health when somebody puts you into the air, and once you're in the air, any moves that hit you while you're being in a juggle state, they typically tend to leave some degree of regainable health or recoverable health. And what I thought about that was that it was really kind of interesting, because then it made it less about trying to launch your opponent. And I think as the gameplay continues to go on and people get deeper into the meta of how the game actually works, you'll see a lot more emphasis on like really poking. We know Tekken is a game of strategy and poking and spacing, and typically, you know, your biggest rewards come from doing combos. But I think things like the way they changed the grab system up, it really changes the dynamic of how you want to go about your offense and what moves you're choosing to use for what benefits. So I thought that was very, very much a good way and a good direction to go in a game where you wanted to have a lot of dynamic back and forth. I thought that really did something to make it not seem so combo heavy, and also putting a lot of emphasis on the, you know, actual fighting that I think a lot of people they kind of really come to Tekken for that. Another thing that I think was a pro was that it was amazing how familiar that Tekken 8 felt, but it did not feel stale. And what I mean by that is, like, if I played Tekken 7, I could easily jump into Tekken 8 and navigate pretty well. You know, it really wasn't going to be very, very different as far as understanding the game of Tekken, how it works. There's some small things that change here and there, some frame differences, some mechanic differences. But for the most part, if you understand how to play Tekken, or if you've played the series before, then you can jump into Tekken 8 and it's not going to be incredibly different to the point where you feel like you have no idea and you're lost. But at the same time, there was enough variance in the mechanics and new things that were introduced in how you could play the game, such as the heat system, the grab mechanics that we spoke about already in the past reviews. These things help the game to feel fresh, even though it remained familiar. So I thought that was a very good touch that they put on the game. In fact, Another pro that I thought that was really, it kind of was talked about, but to actually get the opportunity to feel it out and see how it worked, it was that buff sidestep. It really allows for the QCQ to not feel so overwhelming. You know, you could be in close quarters and there can be a lot of attacking going on, but unlike Tekken 7 where, you know, maybe the limited sidestep really made it difficult to kind of get around certain pokes, in Tekken 8 it seemed like side walking really was very effective, and doing full side steps managed to get you out of the way of a lot of very linear attacks, quick poking. So it made for a little bit more dynamic feel of fighting up close, and it also didn't quite nullify the opponent's offensive options. Now, as for the cons of the gameplay thus far, I did think that it was kind of messed up. Some characters' combo length was a little long, like you had Lars being able to almost carry you from one of the biggest stages in Tekken's history. He was able to take you from one wall almost to the other wall in like 2 combos, which is outrageous to say the least if you saw the size of that stage. Also, some of the combo damage was kind of high. Some characters' combo damage and maybe even the risk reward on a lot of individuals' attacks in certain areas was a little unbalanced. Something like June being able to, you know, use a mechanic where she could take away some of her own health to make an attack way stronger. I think maybe there's some balancing that could be done there. Just in general, there is a lot of little tic-tacky, knick-knack things that probably could be looked at and addressed as far as damage and combo lengths are going, especially on the stages where you have the wall bound and like you can bounce off the wall, then go to the other wall and bounce back off the wall. Like, people are just doing extremely long combos for no reason, and having that one little effect that spins them. It's kind of like a tail spin, but it doesn't actually count as a spin or a tail flip. It just allows you to extend your combo a little bit more. Like, maybe they need to rethink how they want to allow that mechanic to work. But outside of that, the only other con I have is that while they are doing a good job of making it an aggressive game and making people want to play up close and press a lot of buttons, that's not my favorite version of Tekken, right? It's not, the mashy nature isn't just not my favorite. But I do understand that, you know, that is the direction they're going with the game, so I don't expect that to really change. But if it was up to my personal critique, I just don't particularly favor that. I like the spacing aspect. I like the idea of being able to be defensive and being rewarded for being defensive. But I understand that maybe that's not the best thing to look at from the audience perspective, and that's just not the direction they want to go with this game. But what do you think? Did you get an opportunity to play Tekken 8's closed beta test? Leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. And of course, ring that notification bell so we can continue to bring you more content like this in all things TKN House related. With that being said, that brings this portion of the review to a close. And subsequently, so the video. But don't worry, we'll be back with more. Cause you know what it is. The realm of the real, where only the real can chill. Peace.